welcome to you, Positive Mind Saturdays, with your host, Positive White.
Hey, what's happening? We are back for another episode of Positive Mind Saturdays with Positive B. White. We are here at 101 TKO Radio, and I got two special guests in the building with me today. This is a complete 701 reunion today, man.
Absolutely.
I got Coach Jelks, and I got my boy Coach Dejuan. Hey, Coach Dejuan, we've known each other for years, man. We lived right next to each other as far as subdivision-wise, and he's always been like a brother to me, man. You know, he always looked out for me. So, man, shout out to you for that, man.
Appreciate you, man.
And you still, both of y'all still looking good, man.
Trying to keep it up.
Them 2000 classes, man, we just aging well, man.
Absolutely, man. Hopefully I'm not turning into an old man here. The stress level lately, but, you know, we're here.
So shout out to that, and we'll get into how we handle that and deal with that stress a little bit later on, man. So I'm going to start. I like to start from the beginning in case our listeners don't know, you know, who we're talking to. So, Coach Jelks, I'm going to start with you, and then Coach Payne, I'm going to make my way to you. So let's start with, where are you from originally?
From Decatur, Georgia.
Okay.
Grew up right there off Glenwood Road.
Okay.
And, you know, did private school at a young age, you know, all the way up until the 8th grade. And we ended up moving to Stone Mountain. Mm-hmm. Moved to Stone Mountain, headed to 9th grade, and I honestly had to beg my mom to go to a public school. And you know, Stevenson, new school on the block, you know what I mean? And I was heavy into football, and she was all about that. And so ended up at Stevenson High School.
Shout out to that.
Yeah, so the first year the school opened, it was 96. Walking in those doors as a freshman.
Yeah.
And was able to graduate in 2000.
Man, shout out to that, man. Class
Absolutely.
of 2000, man. You graduated with my sister as well. So.
Absolutely.
So
Candace,
shout out to the class of 2000. Shout out to my sister, Candace. Coach Payne.
Yes, sir.
What's happening, man? Good morning, man.
Good morning.
You looking good. So where you from originally?
Originally, I was actually born in Inglewood, California.
Okay.
So kind of moved out here around 92.
Mm-hmm.
Moved to Stone Mountain, right around the corner from you in Raven Springs.
Yeah.
I went to Pine Ridge, went to
Yep.
Stevenson Middle, went to Stevenson High School. So shout out to the class of 2002. We was the first class to go all the way through.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it all started. Me coming to Stone Mountain, playing for Stevenson.
For sure, man. And I'm super excited to have y'all here because both of y'all are former players. You know, first of all, I want to congratulate you both on the Stevenson program, man. I mean, it just has put these young men. I mean, they come through the program and they're all, you know, gentlemen, man. They doing amazing things. How does that feel, man? Just to be a part of that.
Feels wonderful. You know, I definitely had a plan for a long time, you know, coming back in terms of what we wanted the program to look like and represent. Mm-hmm. And so it feels good that we're having some success now and things are almost kind of going the way that we planned on.
Yeah.
You're going to have snags and hiccups here and there.
Right.
And we might touch on some of those in a little while, but
okay.
Feels good, you know, to come back and just kind of walk into purpose and follow behind such great men and leaders.
And Coach Gartrell was phenomenal, man, as a coach. As he truly was. He was the optimum of what you would want a coach to look like.
Absolutely.
And Coach Payne, man, I want to ask you the same way. How does it feel to be a part of such a amazing program? Because at the banquet, man, I could tell that the players really had they was like Coach Payne, like they How does that feel, man?
It feels good. You know, when Coach Jelks was talking about actually coming back,
Yeah.
You know, he kind of let me in on some of the things he was thinking about doing, and our vision was aligned. I think that 701 is a special place.
Yeah.
You know? So we kind of all have an affinity for that place, and you know, we know what it's supposed to look like.
For sure.
We got coached by the same coaches. Actually, shout out to Coach Ball. Coach Ball is
Coach
still
Ball.
our strength and conditioning coach. So it's kind of surreal to have somebody that coached us.
Yeah.
Still on staff.
Yeah. For sure.
A bunch of alumni on staff as well. So you know, we really wanted to kind of mix some of the things that we've done done before with some of the new school, because these kids is a little bit different than how we were actually brought up. But
Yeah.
I would try to say, we're trying to get that old thing back.
Yeah.
Where people understand what type of product they're gonna see on the field, and then when they get to the next level, what type of guy, player, young man that they're gonna have.
Yeah.
When they get there. So that's kind of what the vision is, and we're trying to push forward to make that happen.
Shout out to that, man. And I remember Coach Ball, man. And then like I said, I was at the banquet, and somebody, I can't remember who it was, but they had their pants down a little bit. And Coach Ball looked at him, and then he shook their hand, and then he kind of whispered something, and they pulled their pants up and went up. So shout out to Coach Ball, man, for all he's done. So speaking of football, what are some things that you got coming up? I know you spoke about I think it's a camp coming up.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the camp that's coming up.
Yeah, so that was one of the things that we brought 2701 in year one was our free youth camp.
Okay.
And that's just our way of giving back to the community, connecting with the community. And so, all of the kids, from Wade Walker Park to Stevenson Middle School, all of our youth, we just want to bring them in for a day, let them run around, have some fun, see how we do things, and just be able to kind of speak life into them and hopefully get them excited about being Jaguars coming over to 701.
Yeah,
for
sure.
And so we also, in that second year, added a coaches clinic. And so this is an opportunity for the youth ball coaches to come in, the middle school coaches to come in, and just kind of see the way that we do things, but also get some advice from us on what they're doing in their programs and how they can be more successful, and just by learning and seeing some of the things that we have going on in our program. So truly a day for people to just come out, fellowship, have a good time, meet us, run around, play some football, and have a great time, on a Saturday morning.
And I think that's so good about the community effort, of just not just being a football program, but being somewhere in the community where people can just come and just relax and have fun and enjoy.
Absolutely.
So shout out to you for that. And Coach Payne, you spoke a little bit earlier about a program where people can donate. Let's talk about that.
So the website is Jaguar TDC.
That's the Instagram.
Basically, go on there. Basically, what we're trying to do is get all alumni, not just football alumni, but to donate $7.01.
Okay.
To the program, just to try to generate some funds, so we can run the program at a high level.
Yeah.
So that's basically what we're trying to do with that fundraising effort.
Yeah, and then also we want to be able to showcase some of our history. We want to put some of those former college football players that's come through Stevenson on our walls.
Right.
We want the guys that are coming through to embrace the past history of Stevenson High School, because believe it or not, many of them don't know. That was it was before they were born. Some of them, guys that went on, played high level college ball, went on to the NFL. A lot of these players don't know who they are, and so that's our effort to showcase everybody and just capsule our history.
Yeah.
So it's not forgotten, it's not lost.
For sure, man. So I want to switch gears a little bit, but stay on. I want to stay in the football, but I want to talk fraternities and how is that blending the fraternities? Because both of you guys are members of
Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
So I want to, Coach Payne, I seen you make a big smile when I said fraternity. Let's talk about your Omega counterparts and how that fraternity helped shape who you are today.
It's huge. Actually, we had a couple coaches on staff that were members of Omega Psi Phi.
Nice.
The brotherhood, the camaraderie, the fellowship that you have with your brothers. We're men of like attainment,
right.
And high aspirations. So that kind of leads into a lot of the things that we do on and off the field. And it's the greatest fraternity in the world.
Yeah, because y'all had some pretty dope Michael Jordan. I think Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal. Y'all got some heavy hitters. So Coach Jelks, let's talk about the fraternity for you. How has it helped shape and mold who you are today?
Oh man, just some of the principles, some of the things that we kind of live by are things that are kind of truly near and dear to me.
Okay.
But when we talk about the fraternity, and Coach Payne kind of talked about like attainment, I think that's a huge part of success in a program, going out and finding like-minded individuals.
Yeah, for sure.
People who think like I think, people who think like we think. And, that's the first step to success, being like-minded and then going out there with similar goals each and every day to push the program forward. And so we've got 6, 7 guys that are on staff that are members of Omega Psi Phi, and so it's near and dear to me because we're like-minded. It helps us be successful, and we're on the same page with a lot of things.
Yeah, and
things.
Shout out to that, man. I'm so excited about the program. So, what advice would and I'm gonna ask both of you all this question. What advice would you give to a young man who's graduating and he wants to go to college and play football? What's some advice that you would give to him as far as football, manhood, and then if he wants to pledge a frat? What is some advice that you would give to him? And then Coach Payne, I'm gonna come to you next.
Yeah, the first thing I would say is to take your academics seriously. That's the reason you're there.
Academics.
Football is a vehicle, and that's kind of what we preaching to our guys daily. Football is a vehicle to get that education. We're not gonna play this game long. Most even if you make it to the highest level in the NFL, we're talking between the ages of 32 to 35. You're done with the game. Then what?
Yeah, exactly.
Then what? Use football as a vehicle to get that degree, get those certifications, and then go from there and live out life and use the tools, the lessons that you learn from the game, and apply them to life, and you'll be extremely successful.
Great answer. Coach Payne, what about you?
I mean, really the same thing.
Okay.
When it comes down to it, you can't obviously pledge a fraternity without having the academic piece in place. It is tough doing it as an athlete because you have so many things that you have to juggle. Basically, class, going in and out of practice and meetings, and things of that nature, and then the social aspect of actually being at a college and or university is tough to manage all those things. So time management skills is definitely something that you have to hone in on. Being really efficient with your time.
Yeah, for sure.
And actually being able to maximize it while you're there.
Okay.
But
Great advice,
man.
man.
Shout out to the Qs, man. I forgot I was on.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure they laughing too, man. So shout out to the Qs and that fraternity, man. Shout out to that whole Greek life, man. Shout out to y'all for that. So the program, and you said it was in 1996.
1996.
Correct? So Gartrell was there, and both of you all came through that wave. How has the program changed since Gartrell was there? As far as like, like the school, because obviously the school is much bigger. We got the freshman academy now.
Yeah,
we didn't even have that.
Yeah, we didn't have an academy, but the school is actually smaller.
Oh,
they created another wing for the ninth graders.
Yeah, of course.
With the academy, but in terms of numbers, a lot smaller than it was when we were there. We remember that back parking lot with all those trailers back there.
Exactly.
And we had so much parking lot space and stuff. So now they built that academy, took some of the space, but the building, isn't really full to capacity like it once was.
Yeah, and I think it's just because they built so many other schools, and everybody just kind of, dispersed, like you would like to call it. But yeah, man, so it's crazy because it just looks totally different. You know what I mean? Like I'm used to seeing the trailers, and I'm used to like the band. I had a band member on here a few months ago, and I mean, it used to take up the whole field. It's just different. It's just different. But so what I want to do is we're going to take a little break, and then when we come back, we're going to get into the actual program this season, how they look, what they're thinking this season is going to look like, and we're going to figure out how they stay mentally capable as coaches and how they keep their mental together. So when we come back, we'll discuss that. So y'all keep it locked in with me. This is Positive Mind Saturdays with your boy, Positive B. White, over at 101 TKO Radio. Y'all keep it locked in. We'll be right back. Hey, and welcome back to Positive Mind Saturdays with Positive B. White. I am your host, and we are here at 101 TKO Radio. If you missed the first session, I've got Coach Jelks in the building and also Coach Payne in the building. So, as you all know, it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So, I'm going to start with you, Coach Jelks. How do you stay, as a head coach, how do you stay mentally able? And then also you're a father as well.
Absolutely.
And a husband. So how do you juggle all of that? Mentally?
And an athletic director.
And an athletic director. How do you juggle all that?
Definitely, you know, just wearing a lot of hats, you know, can kind of beat you down. To be honest with you, football is therapy for me.
Okay.
So being on that field, working with those kids, you know, talking ball, X's and O's, things like that, that's truly therapy for me. But we also take additional time on Sundays. Sometimes as coaches, we'll bring somebody in and we'll have, you know, mental health conversations amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
We'll talk about character. We'll talk about just staying disciplined at this age. And just talk about all, you know, some of the things that might be bothering us on a day-to-day basis. We'll blend things like that into our coaches meetings on Sunday to kind of speak to the mental health and make sure that everybody is good. Kind of like a mental health check.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, when we have those kind of sessions. So another part of that is just having that supportive wife, that supportive system at home for everything that I am doing. So I spend so much time coaching football and dealing with these young men. You know, I have little time sometimes for my daughter. Yeah. And so, you know, my wife, who's, you know,
shout out to Miss.
Yeah, athletics as well. She busy as well. But we're able to kind of balance that. And, you know, I was fortunate enough to find a partner that will allow me to have that time and spend that time with these young men. And then, you know, we have to get away. We got a vacation. There's things I got to do to build her up as well. You know what I mean? And so,
for sure.
All of those things kind of go into the mental health, you know what I mean, of what we're doing day in and day out, because it's definitely time consuming.
For sure.
But we got to keep the mental health kind of on the forefront and just, you know, do checks and make sure that we're good. Yeah. Each and every week, you know, weekly we try to, you know, tap in and do some sort of mental health check.
That's great, man. And Coach Payne, I know you're the defensive coordinator. Correct. So your picture on the flyer, I see you do a lot of yelling.
You getting after it.
Nah, that ain't me. Ain't me.
But you got to keep these players, you know what I mean, on the straight and narrow. So how do you stay mentally able to handle all that, especially being a defensive coordinator?
Really, just taking time out for yourself. Okay. You know, whether it's at the crib or, you know, being around guys that I would consider lifelong friends. Yeah. You know, and, you know, we have conversations all the time as well. Kind of piggyback off of what Coach Jelks was saying. It's really unique, and that's why I say 701 is a real different place. You know, I've been knowing him almost 30-some years, you know what I mean? So, and then, you know, the coaches and alumni that's on staff, we've played together, you know, and won the battle together on the field. So, you know, they know you as a person as opposed to you being on another staff somewhere and you might have just met this guy that you working with. And, but, you know, I literally work with people that I've known for 20-plus years. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and then that in addition to, you know, taking vacations, sometimes, you know, in between football and track season, I don't do nothing. You know what I mean? Like literally. So, you know, when we get breaks, we break.
You break.
You know, and that's what it is.
And that's life. You got to take them breaks.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So as far as this season, how do y'all feel about this season, man? What are some things that me who will be spectating, what are some things that we can look forward to this season, man? Just because last year you guys went to the semifinals, man.
Final four.
One game short.
One game from the champions, from the state.
Is that the second time in history?
Second time in history.
So congratulations on that, man. Because that's not something that's not easy to do in DeKalb County. Yeah. So how does this season? How do you all feel about this season?
It's a work in progress. We definitely at this point we're halfway through the summer.
Okay.
You can kind of see and feel some of the places where we need to build and get stronger at. Last year's team, in which I knew at the time, but what we're seeing is we had such good leadership last year.
Yeah.
Some of our seniors, even though it wasn't a lot of them, they were really, really good leaders, and you can see that they were great accountability partners.
That's great.
And so dealing with what we have coming back, it's a lot of new faces. We got some guys that transferred in. We got guys who've been in the program, but they haven't played varsity yet.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So everybody is kind of learning each other. The guys, the kids are learning us, and we're learning the kids. And so it's just about trying to put the right people in the right place and making sure that their why is a big part of what they're doing day in and day out, because ultimately that's going to make them play harder.
Right.
If they understand what they're playing for. And so with us, it's about just keeping our standard the standard.
Right.
Understanding what Stevenson football is, our style of play, our type of play, and getting our guys to buy into it. And so that we can continue to put the same product on the field year in and year out. And so I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a challenge. Definitely a challenge, but it's a challenge that we're up for, and we don't really expect anything less but to continue to build each and every year on what we've done the previous year. And so, just working and kind of putting it in overdrive at this point to get ready for the season.
All right.
You know what I mean? To put that product back out there.
We watching. Coach Payne, man, how you feel? Especially with you being a defensive coordinator, what are some things on defense that you see this year?
I think that defensively we should be better.
Okay.
Like Coach said, we had some kids that weren't the guy. They got some playing time. In some instances, some guys were spot players. We had 2 freshman cornerbacks start in that semifinal game.
Oh wow!
And they got baptized a little bit.
Well, that's kind of tough for a freshman to start. Jeez.
They've come back stronger, and their confidence is up.
That's
because
good.
Now they know what it feels like to beat a guy. So they've been working hard to do that. We have a very strong defensive line coming back. We have a lot of guys. Our defensive line is probably going to be one of the stronger parts of our team, just because they produce. They've had the experience.
Yeah.
And so, it's a couple other pieces that we had kind of put in place. But like I said before, we got on there. I think that the 11 that we put out there is going to be solid. So I'm looking forward to seeing them fly around and make some plays.
Fly around the ball. So what? I didn't look at the schedule yet, but what are some games that are y'all have with the
circle?
Yeah, kind of got circled. Yeah, kind of got like we gotta really. This is one we need to win. I know, of course, you want to win all of them, but like these games, we need to win. What are some games?
The region games.
The region games.
It always comes down to that region, because that's what determines your seeding for the playoffs and the playoffs in general.
Right.
So we want to make sure we win our region games. I'd be remiss. So, last year we dropped one to Mount Zion, which it actually was a blessing in disguise for us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was, because in that week we sitting there, we're preparing for a game, and we're easily a 20-point favorite, maybe even more.
Oh, okay.
Over Mount Zion, and then we dropped that game.
Oh yeah.
But I also say that losing that game, that was the last game we lost before we lost to Calhoun. Yeah. So that losing that game put the pressure on us to propel us to the semifinals.
Oh, okay.
In that season, so it was a blessing in disguise losing that game. But as we look at the schedule for this year, we want to make sure we take care of those region games and put ourselves in good position for the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
And, so much of that matters so much, because it determines home games or away games. And looking back at last season, we don't lose that Mount Zion game, we might not have to go to Calhoun to play Calhoun at Calhoun.
Yeah.
You know, playing Calhoun at Hartford Stadium is a completely different vibe.
Right.
For the fans and for the kids. You know,
Absolutely.
being able to be right at home in the Final Four, you know, it's a different vibe, and we definitely feel a lot better playing at home. And
Absolutely.
so, you know, we're looking forward to some of the non-region games as well. And everything before that region is just preparing us, you know, for the region. But Dutchtown, you know, I mean, is out of region, but it's always a good, strong opponent.
Okay.
And we'll have Mays, which, you know, we open the season and end the regular season with two of APS's, you know, best teams, with opening up with Mays and finishing with Doug.
That's gonna be a good game.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
so the game that I caught last year, I caught the Doug game at
Lakewood.
Lakewood.
Yeah.
That was lit.
Yeah,
It
region
had-
championship. That was
my
everything you want right
It was
there.
such I couldn't enjoy the game because I had my daughter with me. Oh my God, my daughter had to go to the bathroom. Every 5 seconds.
Yeah,
man. So
yeah.
I just could not.
You caught the end, though, right?
He tipped me like. Bro, I couldn't catch the end, bro.
Oh,
wow.
So I left it like, because she just she wasn't gonna let me.
No,
Did
I
it get in
understand.
it didn't go over
We didn't go to
No,
overtime.
no,
but came down
it
to
came to the last play of the
minute.
game.
Last play of the game.
Last play of the game.
See, I heard
yeah,
about
we
it.
won on the last play of
But
the game.
I couldn't watch it because she just wasn't gonna let me, and it was just one of them things like, okay, let me just get her home. So I think she was just tired, and I think she had just had enough for the day.
Yeah.
And it was time to like just let me take her home.
It can be that way. 8 o'clock start. I think on that game, it probably was close to midnight, man. Before
But
we
it was
finished.
so lit, man. I tried to enjoy what I could.
No, it was definitely a good game. It was definitely a good game. They drove down. I think when we went up and then they got the ball back. I want to say it was like 8 seconds left. I think they drove down to like our 18-yard line or something like that, and then we forced the fumble at the end of the game, and the time ran out, and it was definitely it was a good one.
Yeah. So flashing back, Coach Payne, I think you played linebacker.
Where I played linebacker in college. I played center.
Okay.
And a little linebacker at Stevenson. But when I got to college, I played linebacker in college.
So let's talk about, you said y'all opened up with Mays.
Correct.
Y'all finished with Doug.
Correct.
I know you remember playing in those games.
Yeah.
How impactful are those rivalry games?
I think, especially for the city, if you're from the city, you grew up here. You know, some of those DeKalb County versus APS rivalries. We used to actually play in some classic games at Morris Brown.
Yeah.
We played Doug at Morris Brown one year, and then we played Redan at Morris Brown one year. We won both of those games. By the way, I think it was like 40-6 or something like that. But yeah, those we used to look forward to those
sure.
a lot. And I think that the Interstate Classic that we're playing in against Mays, I think they're trying to recreate that a little bit. So
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna put that on my calendar
yeah, for sure.
because that's the opening game.
Yeah, it's the opening game.
Okay, so y'all coaches hold me accountable. I need to be there. I need to be there for that.
Yeah, that'd be
I
dope.
believe it's August 16th.
Where is it at?
It's going to be at the Steel Road Stadium in Clayton County. So
Okay,
it's right
so that's-
behind Morrow
High
High School.
That's even closer to me.
Yeah,
So right behind Morrow High School. That's where we're playing.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
we played there last year as well.
Okay. I think I remember. I tried to get to that game and something happened, but that's cool because I'm not too far from the airport, so that's actually closer to me.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep.
So I'll plan to be there. Mays, and then y'all start off as a Parkview. That's a scrimmage.
Yeah.
Fall scrimmage against Parkview. So
Okay.
with those scrimmages, you know, we want to line up against an opponent that's going to give us, you know, something to work on throughout the rest of the season. And so with Parkview, just hired Adam Clack over there. Did a phenomenal job. He won a state championship at Mill Creek. Milton before. And so, you know, that he's going to put something good together over there, I'm sure, at Parkview. And so be a good test for us.
Okay. Because I know when my year, man, Parkview used to be really good.
Yeah.
Like they was like you go to Parkview, like you had to deal with the fans.
Yeah.
and these players was like really good. Like
Right.
the players are always, good, but I think it was just the coaching and the program, because they were
That
just
culture over there.
raised in. They played little league together, they played middle school together. So by the time they got to high school, it was just like
They clicking on all cylinders.
they were clicking on all cylinders. So Coach, I know you 2000. What position did you play at Stevenson?
Offensive line.
Offensive line.
Yeah, I played left tackle there for 4 years, and coming in as a freshman, new program.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to start as a freshman and play 4 years.
Nice.
Varsity football there at Stevenson. So yeah, offensive lineman.
And Coach Man, you went to Morehouse, right?
Correct.
What
South Carolina State.
South Carolina
State. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Just
Hey, they just did the video of the boots on the ground, man, at SC State. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but the South Carolina State Bulldogs, man.
Okay, and I asked y'all the question earlier, just if you had somebody going to a young man who was going to school. Y'all answered those questions though, but those are two tight programs as far as academic wise. So shout out to y'all, man, for coming through those programs, and then the Stevenson program, man. We've put so many. I can't even mention all the names, man. So I know you mentioned the not Wall of Fame, but
But our college wall. It's our
college wall. It's just out our weight room. So pretty much everybody, well, not everyone. We have maybe around 40 pictures on the wall in the weight room. So, kind of watching over us as we get prepared. So we would like to, put as many up as possible, because it's a lot of guys that haven't been put up on the wall just yet.
Yeah. What are some of those names, man? Because I know we Tippy mentioned them. What are some of those names on that wall?
Wow.
I know Craig.
Craig is up there.
We started with the alumni that's on staff. Arthur Adams, Troy State University. DeMario Mentor went to University of Georgia.
UGA.
Raymond Sanders, who's our running back coach, University of Kentucky. We got Brandon Cannon, Reggie Ball, DJ Wanham, Preston Smith.
So many legends, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sean Lucas. Israel Root.
Izzy. Shout out to Izzy.
Destin Root, also known as JID. It's just a lot of guys. Marcus Ball for sure.
Marcus Ball,
Rayshawn Ball.
Shout out to Rayshawn.
Regis Ball. It's a lot of them.
It's a lot of them.
Yeah,
and all of them was good, man.
So all those guys were up on the wall.
Jermaine
Cunningham has now been on the wall. Cunningham, tap in. I heard he's still in the cab too.
Okay.
So I'm calling you out, Jermaine.
Yeah, come through, Jermaine. Man, and I'm gonna tell you a funny story about Jermaine, bro. Like, he is so I went to school with his brothers. And Jermaine, if you listening to this, man, Jermaine was the younger brother, right? So growing up, he was the younger brother. So it was like, me, I was always like, nah, man, you cool. But big brother, little brother, So man, one year I came back over a summer, and I saw Jermaine, and he was like 6'3", 230. And he had a muscle shot. I said, bro, what you been in? He was like, man, I'm getting ready to go to school. We were getting ready to go to Florida. He's like, man, I'm just going to go to Florida and try to do what I do. So shout out to you, Jermaine, man, for going to Florida and then going off to the league.
And he still holds the sack record right now at Stevenson, in which we got a young pup, a D lineman who's like number 4 in the nation. But he's eyeing that record. So he said he's going to try to break your record. Jermaine,
you hear that, Jermaine?
Listening.
You got somebody on your neck, man.
And we actually had a running back last year break Craig Lumpkin and Mike Davis's record.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Mike Davis is on the wall too.
Yeah, Mike Davis on the wall, but he broke their record, so it was cool. It was a surreal moment. Both of them came back, took a picture with him.
Yeah,
gave him his props. Devin Ingram gave him his props and everything. And
sure.
He was definitely a special back, man, and to break records with guys like that.
Yeah, man,
it says a lot.
A lot, man. The program, man. I'm just excited to see the program because it's just flourished. It's from just to see it keep leveling up from Coach Gartrell and then him passing the torch to you and Coach Payne, man, just seeing you flourish and I'm excited to see the defense this year, man.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Them guys gonna be fun around.
We got to pitch a couple shutouts this year, man. We didn't do that last year.
Mm-hmm.
We held guys to minimum points even in the playoffs. I think
good.
we might have had a wing T team score like 6 points on us.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult. So I was pretty proud of that. But we just couldn't get that donut, you know.
Yeah.
So we looking to have a couple of them this year if all things fall in the right place.
Okay. Well, shout out to you. So I appreciate y'all coming through. So before we get out of here, I want to give y'all any last words that you want to give the listeners about the program, or what you, of course, you want to mention the camp again. And,
Definitely having that youth camp July 19th at Stevenson High School. It's 8 to 12. Information is on our Instagram for you to sign up. Come out, have a great time, bring your kid. We'll have some little food out there, some Gatorade water, things like that for the guys, and run around, have a great time. Coaches too, you feel like coming out that morning, talking some ball. We love it. Myself, Coach Payne, some of the other coaches will get on the board, spend as much time as we need to teach and get guys up to speed, answer any questions guys may have. And then just in terms of the program, man, we want to encourage all our alumni to come back. We practicing Monday through Thursday at the school in the afternoons. Throughout the season, we love to bring guys back to talk to the players, speak to them.
For sure.
Let somebody else speak to the guys, because kids tend to hear it better coming from somebody else, especially people who've been successful in this arena.
Yeah, for sure.
Of football, college football, pro football, things like that. But we also bring in businessmen, lawyers, judges, things like that, actors. Anybody we can in our community to pour into our young men.
Okay.
And so, alumni, come back.
Okay,
come
for
back,
sure.
come
And
back.
I'll put my name in. I'll come out. Of course, I'll be at the games too, but I'll probably try to make my way to a practice too.
Yeah.
Just to see what's going on, walk around.
Absolutely.
And Coach Payne, you got any last remarks?
Man, really the same thing. Not to be redundant, but we definitely want the alumni to tap back in.
For sure.
That's huge because when they see that, it instills a sense of pride and something to strive for. When you got somebody that's been where you're trying to go and they can reach out and actually touch them, and it's a tangible thing.
For sure.
Then it gives them something to strive towards, and they can really see that it's real. So that's the biggest thing, and I think that's the biggest advantage that we had. We were able to come back and pour into guys, and it's a repetitive process, and that's kind of brought us to this point. That's pretty much it.
That's it. And the social media page for the I don't want to say it wrong. Is it
Jaguar Touchdown Club on IG?
Okay.
On IG.
That's our program page.
Okay.
And SHS Football is on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be sure to follow those pages so y'all can stay up to date on the games this season and everything going around in the program. So I appreciate y'all for coming through.
Absolutely. We appreciate you having us,
Sure.
Yeah.
You out in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. If y'all got any questions for these guys, be sure to reach out to them individually, and be sure to follow that page on IG to keep up to date what they got going on. So this has been another successful episode of Positive Mind Saturdays. Shout out to my boy Nelson and the president of 101 TKO Radio for doing his thing, and my boy Only One Tippy, who is also 701 alumni. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.